I spent a week making 2 mini swords to prove that they can be bookmarks, because surely this is the better way to read, right? I propose by the end of this video, you will side with me that this is vastly superior to all other bookmarks. But first, I'm taking this video outside because making it inside with all my supplies easily accessible was apparently too easy for past me. So I snuck into a forest to talk to myself like a crazy person for an hour. Okay, while past me is fighting off mosquitoes, I'm going to quickly explain the process. Now I've made paper bookmarks before, but this time I'll be making them out of wood. This really thin balsal wood. I spent the next half an hour cutting up and sanding this wood into the perfect sword shape. Hey! You see him? He's so small. Huh? Oh. Okay, now how do I get him off me? You wanna... Oh, okay. Oh, okay, he got off me. Aw, that interaction almost made going outside worth it. I was brutal writing this script. Anyway, I'm layering the wood chips so they're about 3 thick. That means that it's thin enough to fit in between a book without bending it, but thick enough that it won't accidentally snap when I use it. And there, after about an hour, we've got a sword and enough vitamin D that my doctor won't complain to me. I'm packing up and heading back. Anyway, as I was walking out of the forest, I saw someone sitting right there. So, they definitely saw me being a crazy person for a while there. Ugh, back to sanctuary. Okay, but actually going outside was fun, and I'll probably be touching grass more often in future videos. Okay, this is how far we got in that time, and I'm just gonna make it more sharp by sanding it down. Oh, and then I decided to start precariously cutting towards myself, because apparently cutting off my finger is worth not having to Google one safety video. But luckily, I kept all my fingers, and the handle is looking pretty good. And I've got this block of knickknacks that I'm stealing these silver beads from. Oh, and I must have still been coming down from my adrenaline rush from earlier, because then I started drilling towards myself. Yep, maybe one day I'll learn. Anyway, here's a montage of me trying to put in the beads. This went on for an embarrassingly long time. Next, it's time to mix up some paint, slap it over top, and I need some way to hold it up while it dries. Ah, perfect. Although, it's kind of giving... Now I'm gonna coat everything in a black wash, and let past me take it away. Now, I think this sword looks pretty good, but there's just one problem with it. It's way too small, like comically small. Maybe this bookmark is best for like a small journal or something? I could have stopped the video here, but I think you guys deserve something better. You've probably already seen in the thumbnail, but it's time to make an even bigger fantasy sword. This one starts pretty much the same as the last one, only this time it's 50% bigger and way more complicated. I kept trying to add these notches in the blade, but it kept breaking. But luckily, with enough prayers and super glue, it finally managed to stay together for me to move on to the handle. I really wanted this like epic looking hook shape for the handle, but it was an absolute pain to try and make it at this scale. The details are so small, but I persisted, and with enough retrying and sanding, the handle was finally done, and all that was left was the rest of the sword. painting was by far the hardest part of this process. I kept trying to make the color gold, which is really hard to make if you have a limited set of paints. I just couldn't get the colors quite right. So I just kept repainting the sword over and over again, with the occasional break to try it in front of my fan like it was a rotisserie chicken or something. Look, at one point I even tried to do a transition to go fix it off camera, but it just looks exactly the same. Even though like an hour had passed. Oh, and I also shaved down the handle a little bit more because I wasn't really happy with it either. But it's all fine now. We're past the hard steps. And on to my favorite part, which is the threading. Seriously, I think it took me an entire hour to put 4 beads onto the tassel. 4. I think it took me gluing, cutting, and drilling to finally get them on. But I think it was all worth it in the end. But you tell me. Have I convinced you that swords are way better as bookmarks? And do you think this sword needs to be even bigger? Let me know what you think in the comments. And see you next week. Bye!